So the other day I was flipping through the channels, looking at CNN, looking at Fox News, trying to find out what's going on with this crazy world, and find out truly, trying to get my information out there, from what's going on in this world, this riots, all this COVID-19, all that stuff. Um, so I went and I thought to myself, well, let me do my research, and is really CNN like the best newscaster, Fox News, or let me check. So I went and did my research, and this is what I find out. Take a look at it. Fox News was number one, MSNBC number two, ESPN number three, CNN number four. Wow, I thought they were on second place, CNN, but MSNBC was. So I said, well, let me go ahead and check MSNBC and see what it's all about. And I hear this freaking racial matter, whatever her name is, and just complaining about the U.S. and trashing the U.S., and it was bad. So listen to it.
Maybe we all saw all of this coming, right? The economic collapse, the rule of law collapse. But who among us saw it coming all at the same time, and at the same time as the total surrender of our country to a highly contagious viral pandemic? Right? I mean, every country that took drastic steps to contain coronavirus took an economic hit for it. Well, we took among the worst economic hits in the world. We're still reeling, except the difference is we didn't actually contain the coronavirus, right? We gave ourselves the economic hit, but we wasted it in terms of what we used that time for in terms of containing this pandemic. We blew it. Everybody took an economic hit, but look what they got for their time. They got their pandemics under control. We did not. We took the economic hit, and we are still eating it.
So I don't know what she's talking about. She's blowing things out of proportion. I mean, the news media is just crazy. It's making us look bad. So let's make some common sense about this. The United States, we're bigger than everybody else. That's why we have more death. I mean, if we go by of course we have more cases. We have more cases, more death. Of course, we're bigger than anybody else. But this is what's important. Important is the mortality rate. That's the amount of people that died of COVID-19 divided by the number of people in a particular country. And I'm gonna prove you by math, simple math, that we are better off than many other countries. What she's talking about, that she's saying that they got rid of the COVID-19, when in fact their mortality rate is much bigger than our mortality rate. And I'm going to prove it to you in numbers. Look at this. Look at the number of deaths in the United Kingdom, 43,000 plus. Belgians, 9,000 plus. Spain, 28,000. Italy, 34,000 and change. But look at the amount of death compared to the population. That gives you the mortality rate. Like Belgium give you 0.0851%. I mean, you have 2.3 times more than the death in the United States. Mortality rate is 0.037. We have less mortality rate than France, Sweden, Italy, Spain, United Kingdom, and Belgium. And Germany, if anything, it has one of the lowest, 0.01. But look at the entire European Union, 176,000 deaths, more than the United States. Of course, there's more people in the European Union, 445 million people. But still, even though there's a lot more people in the European Union than in the U.S., it's still the mortality rate is 0.0396, more than the one in the United States. So what are they talking about? The European Union, closing the borders to the United States. Yes, you people have more percentage of mortality than the whole United States, and I think you're even smaller than the United States, land-wise, by territory. And again, people trashing the state of Florida. Look at our mortality rate, 0.015, almost as close to Germany. So look at the chart of coronavirus cases in the world. Look who's on top. Europe, the yellow. And look at this other chart. This is the chart of coronavirus death in Europe. I don't see the line flattening or going down. What's going on here? One more thing that the media doesn't tell you is that 1/3 of US death happens in a long-term facility. Look at the chart. Number one, Florida, 849 facilities, 9,540 cases, 1,230 deaths, 37%. But compare that to Pennsylvania. They have a lot less facilities than Florida, and they still have 69% of the death. And Kansas, what's going on there? They only have 33 facilities and they have 71% of the death happening in there. What's going on there? Let's go back to Europe. Look at the chart. This is from Euro News. This is from Europe. This is not from the United States. This is from their own news from European news, Euro News. Look at this. San Marino, Belgium, Andorra. Okay, those are small countries. But look at UK. Look at Spain, Italy. You know, these are big countries. And look, they all have much higher mortality rate than the United States. And to make matters worse, you know, the very next day, I listened to MSNBC again, and this is what I have to hear. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Listen it yourself.
The New York Times reports tonight that the European Union is making its plans to start reopening its borders to international travelers because they are on the other side of their curve, unlike us. In Europe, they've got their epidemics mostly under control. The plan so far, according to documents that the Times has seen, is to exclude travelers from Europe, even after reopening, if those travelers are from countries where the virus is still rampant, where it is still rampaging at will. So that means that even as the EU opens up its borders to travelers from all over the world again, it means countries where there's been abject failure in dealing with the coronavirus, places like Russia and Brazil and the United States, we're not going to be welcome. Quote, European Union countries rushing to revive their economies and reopen their borders after months of coronavirus restrictions are preparing to block Americans from entering because the U.S. has failed to control the scourge. That prospect, which would lump American visitors in with Russians and Brazilians as unwelcome, is a stinging blow to American prestige in the world and a repudiation of President Trump's handling of the virus in the United States, which has more than 2.3 million cases and upwards of 120,000 deaths. More than any other country. Yeah, we are so disastrously poorly run right now as a country that we are an international catastrophe that the rest of the world has to protect itself from. Our bodies as Americans represent a threat to the rest of the world because of the way that our government, our leadership, has allowed this virus to run rampant through our bodies as the American population. And so we now are an infectious vector risk to the rest of the world.
So maybe we need to show MSNBC and this lady a class in geography and simple arithmetic and tell the world, well, yes, we do have 120,000 plus death of coronavirus, but of course we do, because we are one of the biggest countries in the world. If you go by population, you know, and by death rate, we have less than a lot of countries in the world. Look at the size of the United States compared to the European Union. And look at the numbers of the European Union as far as death. You know, they have 176,500 plus. We still have 120,000. We have less death than they do. Here's another case in which the media blow things out of proportion and accuses Donald Trump. You know, he endorsed hydroxychloroquine, which is, you know, it has been known to be a cure for malaria, and they have shown that it works with the coronavirus. I mean, we're still not sure, but, you know, it's not the same thing as, you know, chloroquine sulfate, which is a fish tank cleaner, and it's a potent mix. It's not for humans, is to kill fish. So some guy in Arizona, some stupid guy in Arizona. I mean, sorry to say that, but went ahead and took this fish tank cleaner, which is not hydrochloroquine, is chloroquine phosphate, which is a potent solution to kill bacteria in a fish tank, and of course the guy died. He killed himself. But don't blame Donald Trump for saying that he killed him. He didn't. Hydrochloroquine and hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine phosphate is two different things. One is a prescription that you have to get from the doctor, and it's a different amount of chloroquine in it that helps hopefully cure the coronavirus. So there you go. Another reason you should not listen to the media. Here's a little more on the subject. Listen to this.
So the big talking point today is that a man has died after taking Trump's medical advice. But is that actually what happened? Well, let's take a look at what the media says versus the actual truth. So here's one from The Hill. Man dies after taking malaria medication touted by Trump as possible cure for coronavirus. Here's one from NPR that says an Arizona man is dead and his wife is hospitalized after the couple ingested a drug, a chemical that has been hailed by President Trump as a game changer in the fight against coronavirus. So there you go. Another one leaving the impression. The paper of record, the New York Times. An Arizona man has died and his wife hospitalized after they ingested a fish tank additive that contained the same active ingredient as anti-malaria drug, which President Trump has referred to as a game changer.
Another subject, yes, Black Life Matters. Everybody's life matter. Blue, yellow, green, beige, white, green, gray. Yeah, you little alien guy, you matter too. But don't get two things confused. There's the Black Life Matter slogan, which everybody approves, but there's another Black Life. There's the Black Life Organization, which is anti-police, is more like police defunding and get rid of the police. But people of America, think about it. I mean, what would we do without police? I mean, who are you gonna call when somebody breaks into your house? I mean, are we gonna have like self-policing? Are we gonna go back to the old west? Everybody carry a gun and it's gonna kill each other? No, think about it. It makes no sense. So I'm pro the slogan, Black Lives Matter, just like everybody's life matter. But the organization, I don't know about that. They want to defund police. And don't think I'm racist. Actually, I got a lot of black friends, including Wheeler Shepherd. I mean, he's a lawyer, he's an Air Force pilot, a boxer, he's a NBC investigative reporter here locally. I mean, he's my hero. Check it out.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Nesbro.
And I'm Jawan Schroeder. Good evening. Thank you for joining us once again. Defunding the police means taking money away from local departments and allocating it to social services and community resources. But the issue is controversial and for some concerning.
NBC6's Willard Shepard is live in Miami with some steps the county is taking to make their officers more accountable for the actions. Willard.
Yeah, that's right. We did hear from the county today about these items. Jackie and Juwan, I want to take you back to that helicopter shot of these protesters. They started here from behind me just a short time ago here where Carlos Martinez runs a public defender's office, went down over to the state attorney's office and past the pretrial detention center where people are held here in Miami-Dade County before they go to court. We heard from the police today. They sent a message out to all citizens, and we also heard more from the county about moving forward, trying to get that citizens investigative panel.
Hey, listen, I don't want to get too political here, but what happened to George Floyd, that was bad. There's no question about it. He was assassinated by police. It was crazy. I mean, these police officers, I mean, they're bad people. But don't blame the 1%, the bad apples in the police departments for the rest of the police. The majority of them are good people. Yes, some of them are bad and they don't run things, but don't go rioting. Don't break into business. Don't break into houses. Don't start looting everywhere. Don't start tearing monuments. I mean, like Grant. I mean, Ulysses Grant. He fought, for the liberty of the black people. I mean, he fought with the Yankees. He fought against the Confederates. I mean, and Christopher Columbus. I mean, they destroyed his statues. I mean, Christopher Columbus. I mean, when he came to America, I mean, there were no blacks here. I mean, there were no black people. There were no African American. There were no any people from Africa whatsoever. By the time he came here, I mean, so it doesn't make sense. There weren't any blacks in America when Christopher Columbus was around. That makes no sense. And Abraham Lincoln, he's the one that started the Republican Party. He started it for the only reason of to liberate the black people. He's the one that started it all. I mean, and people in the United States probably needs to get more educated about their history and find out what's going on. Come on, people of the United States, we gotta have some type of balance here. We cannot be too much to the left. We cannot be too much to the right. We have to stay somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the happy middle. And don't be a follower. Be yourself. Do the right thing. So, listen. I mean, Donald Trump. He's. I wish he was more political. I mean, he's a businessman. He's an a-hole. I mean, if I see him on the street, I punch him in his face, literally. But the guy, I mean, I voted for the guy, not necessarily because his political views, because he's not a politician. He's a businessman, so he doesn't know anything about politics that I know of. I mean, he's just a businessman that I voted for him. So as a businessman, I try to see if he could fix this country economically. But I wish he was a little bit more political, like the real politicians, and address the issues of the country, of the civil unrest that's going on, and admit, yes, there's an issue with police, there's an issue with blacks and whites and civil rights, and that we need to address, and he should address that, and not going in and saying that he's gonna send the National Guard to protect the United States. I mean, I know it's wrong. The way you should say, what you should have said, and you have advisors that you should listen to. That I'm pretty sure they tell you, hey, be a little bit more political. Try to remediate, what's going on here civilly, with the people in the United States, and accept that and do something about it. Not be an a-hole like you are, and try to solve the issues here, and at least admit it and talk about it on the media. I mean, anyway, so we got an election coming up in November, and we're gonna basically go back to 2016 to pick up the lesser of the evil. In 2016 we have Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, so that was almost obvious, that people weren't gonna vote for Hillary Clinton. So by default, Donald Trump became the president. Anyway, I voted for him, like I said, because I think we needed somebody with a business mind to fix this economy. Same now, we need somebody strong to keep fixing our economy and keep it strong, like he says. And I don't know, you make your own decision, but the other guy in the ballot is Biden, and Biden really, literally hasn't done anything for this country. He's been hiding from all these issues going on and not doing anything about it, and basically gaining popularity by Donald Trump unpopularity. So that's kind of not fair, and basically we're down to that. And I mean, none of them are good in my opinion, but the least good, I mean, the better one, I guess, of all the two, the lesser evil, like I said, is Donald Trump. We're gonna go back to that. We're gonna fix America, fix our economy, continue in the way we've been before COVID-19. is the guy is in presidency right now. Listen, the guy is not a politician. We know that. He's a businessman. You know, he's a wealthy businessman that didn't have to be a president of the United States. I think, honestly, he wanted to fix America, and he did that. He's doing that. And that's the reason that I voted for him, and that's the reason that I'll probably vote for him again this time around, to keep America great, just like he said. So this is my advice to you, America, from a regular citizen, a semi-intelligent guy here that lives in the United States. Don't listen to everything that the media says. You know, it's mostly political bias, political propaganda. If anything, watch all the channels and make your own conclusion and do your research of what they're saying. Most of the stuff that they say is garbage. If anything, I'm not endorsing anybody, but I have listened to Fox News, and I don't believe some of the things that they say, but if anything, those are the ones that actually are closest to the truth of what's going on here than everybody else. Everybody else is like extremely to the left. Trashing Donald Trump and all that. So I don't know. You gotta do your own research and like I did, and make your own conclusions. So don't believe anything that I said either. So I dare you to do that. Be intelligent, be smart, use common sense, and don't believe what people are saying out there. Get information from different sources, and come with your own conclusion. So how about this? Instead of rioting out there, protesting out there, destroying public property, destroying monuments, trashing Donald Trump, instead of saying, let's make America great again, like he said, how about if we just say, let's save America? Simple as that. Let's save America. How can we do that? By avoiding the spread of coronavirus. Just wear your mask, wash your hands, hand sanitizer, social distance, do anything possible, anything out there that you could do to avoid the spread of coronavirus. Donate blood, be a hero, and save a life. Don't get tested for just to see if you have coronavirus or you don't. Get tested for the antibodies. What does the regular test do? It tells you have coronavirus. Okay, you have coronavirus. So now what? Chances are that you're gonna outlive it. And chances are that most people out there have coronavirus and don't even know it. So testing you about having the virus or not having the virus is that doesn't do anything. It just create like there's another case of coronavirus. But what you should do is just get a test for the antibodies. If you have the antibodies, that means that you already had it, and basically that you cure and you have antibodies that could actually help other people survive this thing. Donate blood so you could give the plasma to somebody else and save somebody that has problems with coronavirus. Simple as that. Let's save America. Simple. Save America.